Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my channel. I am Cyclops of Paramount Cyclops. I hope your day is going great. I hope you're staying warm. I hope your lockdown is going well if you are under a lockdown. And if you're not under a lockdown, well, breathe some fresh air for me. So, Michigan, just everything is a roller coaster. You're going one direction and then it goes another direction and then it goes another direction and then it goes another direction. But when you step back and you look at the big picture, you can see like a road map. When you're on the road and you're driving, you can't see the curves ahead of you. And if it's a road you don't know and you've never been down it before, you got to be cautious. But if you can step back and take an aerial view, you can see all the roads and you can see where it goes, you can see where it leads, and see how you got to where you are. So how did we get to this point? I mean, not long ago, Michigan, Wayne County, they certified the results. But there were two GOP members that were holding out because they said they saw indiscrepancies. And then they flipped and they said, okay, fine, we'll certify the vote, but they did it kind of a little bit under duress. So these were the two GOP members that did not want to certify the vote, and they said because they had seen certain things that didn't quite fit. One of them, Palmer, that was the lady, the female, said there we're right here, discrepancies in Wayne County were noticed in the August primary and were supposed to be addressed by the general election. But, she says, 70% of Detroit's absentee counting boards were still out of balance and unexplained. And people try to explain them all the time. People have moved and change of address and absentee voting in another state with a change of address. Okay, I could see that, but the problem is mathematically the numbers don't jive. They are kind of mutually exclusive. And the percentages don't jive with a randomness. They don't seem random at all. They're one-sided. So she says later on, my intent with my no vote was to make sure we got answers so that the voters of Detroit can have recountable precincts. Precincts, she said. It has nothing to do with black or white. And I believe her. I think she believes that she saw something that was wrong with the vote, and she called it out. And they got lambasted. There's later on people saying things such as this, right down here. Millions of people around the world now know the name Monica Palmer and William Hartman, said Detroit businessman Ned Stabler during the Zoom meeting, who joined a chorus of Democratic commenters calling them bad names. Bad names. Now, for some reason on YouTube, we're not adult enough to hear, so cover your ears when you read it so you don't hear it. Remember, when you read it, cover your ears so you don't hear it. So they were pressured, and they were called names, and they were threatened, and people were actually saying and sending them tweets and whatnot saying, your children go to this school? Oh, your children go to this school. So they reversed their vote, and they went ahead and certified, and they said, yes, okay. They recertified. They certified the votes they gave in under pressure, under duress. And then they came back out and they said no, and they signed affidavits and they said, look, we are under a lot of pressure. We are under threats. So yes, but we are rescinding our yes vote, which they have every right to do. Imagine if the roles were reversed. Whatever your candidate is, I don't care if your candidate is a Martian. Imagine if your Martian had this and your Martian was in question and you had questions on the vote, you'd want to recount because you'd want to make sure that you weren't cheated. Well, it's the same here. So now we get to here. There is going to be a post-election audit. Huh. Good. There should be. If there's impropriety, we should know about it. So let's read this. This one was from, oh my gosh, I cannot see anything, mlive.com. Okay. Secretary of State says Michigan will perform post-election audit. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson said her office is on track to perform a statewide risk-limiting audit of November's general election, as well as local performance audits of individual jurisdictions. Benson's office has been preparing for a post-election audit over the last 22 months, she said. But interestingly enough, Palmer, in her affidavit, had said that she was promised a audit of the precincts that she had questions with, but said that she was denied. They said, yeah, we will, but as soon as she gave her yes vote to certify the election, then she said, but they didn't do anything about it. So now all of a sudden they're backtracking and said, no, we've always had planned to do this. So, I mean, just what you believe depends on what information you get. Right now I don't know what to believe because I got both sides. One is saying that she was promised the audit and it didn't look like anything was going to be done and they had nothing set up to do the audit, and then this one here saying they were going to do the audit all along. I don't know. I don't have any evidence either way. All I can do is present you with the both sides that I know and let you do your own research and let you make up your own mind. Throughout my tenure as Michigan Secretary of State, and indeed long before, I have spoken repeatedly on the importance of post-election audits to ensure Michiganders can trust the outcome of our elections as an accurate reflection of the will of the people. Then how about you address the very public, very provable, because it's on video, statements of Democrats calling these people just because they weren't sound in the election names, and threatening them with where their children go to school. That's a direct threat. That is it. That's not cool. That should not be the American way. The American way should be this. Discourse. You talk, I listen, you listen. We come to agreement. If we don't come to agreement, then we agree to disagree, but we're still agreeing that we're Americans and we can get along, we can talk. She said in a statement on Thursday afternoon, notably, audits are neither designed to address nor performed in response to false or mythical allegations of irregularities that have no basis in fact. Now, there's a pitfall here. This is not a full audit. It is a risk-limiting audit and certain individual jurisdictions. The caveat is this. Will they do audits of the precincts that the GOP individuals that had questions on? Will they do audits of those particular ones? Or are they going to do other ones? That will be an interesting one to look up. But that's where we're at. And if you can make sense of it, please let me know, because I am certainly confused. I love you guys, and I'm trying to race to 2,000. So if I have done any kind of due diligence, and I've given you any kind of information, and I have given you both sides of the story as best as I could, because the information depends on who you talk to. But there are two sides, and I believe I've given you both sides, and consider giving me a thumbs up. A subscribe would be fantastic. And I will see you guys on the next one. And I thank you for your time.